On March 8, 2014, a Boeing 777 vanished from the skies. Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 was en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing with 239 people on board. Within an hour, it disappeared from radar without a trace. What followed was the largest and most expensive search in aviation history, stretching from the South China Sea to the remote southern Indian Ocean. Despite satellite data, ocean drift models, and fragments of wreckage, the core mystery remains unsolved. Was it mechanical failure, hijacking, or something far darker? In this episode, we uncover the events of that night, the chilling gaps in communication, and the theories that still divide experts a decade later. MH370 is more than a missing plane, it's a symbol of how little we truly control in the air. What happened to those 239 people? Buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the chilling timeline, the haunting clues, and the theories that still keep us awake at night. This is the story of MH370, and it's unlike anything you've ever heard. Welcome to Skypulse Aviation, where we unravel the world's biggest mysteries with facts, analysis, and a touch of suspense. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a single episode. Today, we're tackling one of the most baffling enigmas of our time, the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370. A decade later, the world is still searching for answers. We'll walk you through the night it happened, piece together the fragments of evidence, and explore the theories that range from plausible to outright chilling. By the end of this episode, you'll have a clearer picture of what we know, what we don't, and what might still be out there. Let's get started. It's just after midnight in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. The date is March 8, 2014. At Kuala Lumpur International Airport, Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 is preparing for takeoff. The aircraft is a Boeing 777-200ER, a workhorse of the skies known for its reliability. On board are 227 passengers from 14 countries, including business travelers, families, and a group of Chinese artists returning from an exhibition. The crew of 12, led by Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, a 53-year-old veteran pilot with over 18,000 flight hours, is highly experienced. The mood is routine, another red-eye flight to Beijing. At 12:41 a.m., MH370 takes off, climbing smoothly into the night sky. Air traffic control clears the flight to ascend to 35,000 feet, heading northeast over the South China Sea. The pilots check in with Kuala Lumpur ATC, their voices calm and professional. Everything seems normal, but at 1:19 a.m., something strange happens. The last recorded communication from the cockpit is a casual, "Good night, Malaysian 370. Moments later, as the plane approaches the boundary between Malaysian and Vietnamese airspace, its transponder, a device that broadcasts the plane's location, goes silent. Air traffic controllers in Ho Chi Minh City expect MH370 to check in. It never does. The plane has vanished from radar. What makes this moment so eerie is the lack of any distress signal. No mayday call. No indication of trouble. A 200-ton aircraft with 239 people on board has simply disappeared. By 2:15 a.m., air traffic control raises the alarm. Malaysian authorities scramble to locate the plane. Initial assumptions point to a crash in the South China Sea, near the last known radar contact. Search and rescue teams from Malaysia, Vietnam, and Singapore mobilize, combing the waters for wreckage. But there's nothing, no debris, no oil slicks, no sign of MH370. Meanwhile, military radar data reveals a shocking twist. After losing contact, MH370 didn't crash. It made a sharp, deliberate turn westward, flying back over the Malaysian peninsula and into the Andaman Sea. This wasn't a random maneuver. It required precise control, likely from someone in the cockpit. The plane then climbed to 45,000 feet, well above its normal cruising altitude, before descending erratically. By 2:25 a.m., it was tracked heading toward the southern Indian Ocean. Then, it disappeared from military radar entirely. Satellite data from Inmarsat, a British telecommunications company, provides the next clue. Even after the transponder went offline, the plane's satellite communication system continued to ping hourly, indicating it was still operational. These pings suggest MH370 flew for another 6 hours, covering thousands of miles, before its final ping at 8:11 a.m. The data points to a remote stretch of the southern Indian Ocean, one of the most desolate regions on Earth. What followed was the most extensive and expensive search in aviation history. Led by Australia, the operation spanned millions of square miles across the South China Sea, the Andaman Sea, and the southern Indian Ocean. Over 40 ships, 34 aircraft, and countless experts from 26 countries joined the effort. The cost? Over $150 million. Early on, hopes were high. Oil slicks and debris spotted in the South China Sea sparked excitement, but they turned out to be unrelated. In 2015, a breakthrough came when a flaperon, a part of the wing, was found on Réunion Island, thousands of miles from the search area. It was confirmed to be from MH370, carried by ocean currents. Over the next few years, more fragments washed up on beaches in Mauritius, Madagascar, and South Africa. But these were just pieces of the puzzle. No bodies, no black boxes, no fuselage. The search focused on a 120,000 square kilometer area in the southern Indian Ocean, known as the Seventh Arc, based on Inmarsat satellite pings. Underwater drones and sonar scanned the seabed, a treacherous landscape of underwater volcanoes and trenches. Despite years of effort, the main wreckage was never found. In 2017, the official search was suspended, leaving families and investigators with more questions than answers. The absence of definitive evidence has fueled a torrent of theories. Let's break down the most prominent ones, from the plausible to the downright disturbing. One theory suggests a catastrophic mechanical issue, like a fire or depressurization, incapacitated the crew and passengers. A fire in the cockpit could explain the transponder shutdown and erratic flight path. However, this doesn't account for the deliberate turn westward or the 6 hours of flight after the last contact. Modern aircraft like the Boeing 777 are designed with redundancies to prevent such failures from going undetected. Experts largely dismiss this theory, as it fails to explain the plane's calculated maneuvers. Could MH370 have been hijacked? The sharp turn and disabled transponder suggests someone intentionally took control. But who? The passengers included no known terrorists, and no group claimed responsibility, a rarity in hijacking cases. Some speculate a passenger with aviation knowledge could have accessed the cockpit, but security measures post-9/11 make this unlikely. Another angle points to the 2 Iranian passengers traveling on stolen passports, but investigations found no evidence of foul play. A hijacking would also require a motive, and none has emerged. The most controversial theory implicates the pilots, particularly Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah. Investigators found a flight simulator in Zahari's home with a deleted route eerily similar to MH370's suspected path into the southern Indian Ocean. Was he practicing? Some argue Zahari, reportedly dealing with personal issues, deliberately crashed the plane in a murder-suicide. However, his family and colleagues insist he was professional and stable. The co-pilot, Farik Abdul Hamid, had no red flags either. Without concrete evidence, this theory remains speculative but chilling. More outlandish theories suggest government or military involvement. Some claim MH370 was shot down during a secret operation or diverted to a hidden base, like Diego Garcia, a U.S. military outpost in the Indian Ocean. These ideas lack evidence and rely on conspiracy logic, but they persist in online forums. Another theory posits cyber hijacking, hackers taking remote control of the plane's systems. While theoretically possible, no credible evidence supports this. Perhaps the scariest possibility is that we're missing something entirely. Could MH370 have encountered an unprecedented phenomenon, an electrical anomaly, a navigation glitch, or something beyond our current understanding? The southern Indian Ocean is one of the least explored regions on Earth. Could the plane be resting in an uncharted trench, forever out of reach? MH370 exposed glaring weaknesses in global aviation. Transponders can be disabled too easily, and real-time tracking systems are still not universal. The Inmarsat pings, while groundbreaking, were never designed for precise tracking, leaving us with an incomplete picture. The search also highlighted the limits of human technology, our inability to conquer the vastness of the oceans. The human toll is equally profound. Families of the 239 passengers and crew are left in limbo, caught between grief and hope. The lack of closure has fueled distrust in authorities, with some accusing Malaysia of withholding information. The official report, released in 2018, admitted the cause cannot be determined without the wreckage. Will we ever find MH370? Advances in underwater exploration, like autonomous drones and AI-driven mapping, offer hope. Private companies, like Ocean Infinity, have resumed searches with no find, no fee contracts. If the wreckage is found, the black boxes could unlock the truth, assuming they're intact after years underwater. My prediction? The answer lies in the cockpit. Whether it was human intent or error, the deliberate maneuver suggests someone was in control. But without the flight data recorder, we're left guessing. The southern Indian Ocean is vast, but technology is catching up. I believe we'll find the wreckage within the next decade, but whether it will solve the mystery is another question. MH370 isn't just a missing plane, it's a stark reminder of how fragile our control over the skies can be. It's a story of loss, mystery, and the relentless human need for answers. 10 years later, we're still searching, still theorizing, still haunted. What do you think happened to MH370? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep this conversation alive. If you found this deep dive gripping, give this video a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more mysteries unraveled. Hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, stay curious, and keep looking to the skies.